How do you know though?
Because I mean, he fought I can't remember the guy, but the volcano head dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mount Fiji guy.
TNMP, the Nerdy Misfit Podcast, with your hosts, Connor O'Neill and Matthew Hughes.
What is up, beautiful people? Welcome back to another episode of the Nerdy Misfit Podcast.
Hello.
We're your hosts. I can't remember what order it did. Matthew and Connor? Connor and Matthew?
With your hosts, Matthew and Connor O'Neill and Matthew Hughes. I think it's you first and then me. Okay. And then I think I don't know. Anyways, hello.
Whenever I make the descriptions, I do Matt first. I don't know if you've ever noticed.
Yeah, I have actually.
So it's fair.
It's equal.
I guess.
Anyways, how's it going today, Connor?
It's going. It's a lovely later recording day for us.
Not the latest.
Later, but also early.
Yeah.
I guess in terms of when the episode comes out. But
in a
usually
week span,
we were ahead for a bit, and now we're technically just on time. On regular pace for the weekly
We'll get ahead
episodes.
again.
We'll get ahead again. Just need to think of some extra content. If you guys have anything else want to talk about,
let us know.
We're more than open to talk about it.
Currently drinking the new Starbucks drink, the
nice.
Summer Refresher Lemonade.
I'm drinking water now with weird beads at the bottom.
I think they're raspberry
I couldn't tell.
or blue. I don't know.
They were too sugary to know what they actually
Very
tasted like.
sweet drink.
The actual drink kind of just tasted like lemonade. It didn't really taste like blue lemonade at all. It just kind of tasted like lemonade.
That's fair, yeah.
And the little weird boba things just tasted like sugar. They didn't really taste like.
They're little squishy bulbs. But yeah, hello.
Yeah, but we're here. We're here for the other podcast. Not coffee though.
Not coffee.
Let's change the pace.
Just sugar. And here we are at the end of another month. Month 4 already of us doing this season series called Anime of the Month.
Yeah.
So here we are.
Month 4 or 5?
Month 5, you're right. So
Maybe. Yeah.
yeah, so Bocchi the Rock, Heavenly Delusions,
That.
the Kisumonogatari trilogy.
Oh yes.
Haiku.
Monogatari movies.
And now this week was
Or
recommended.
This month.
Gray?
Was Flying Witch. Actually,
kinda
I was just
recommended
looking. Yeah, I was.
Oh, okay.
I was looking through some. Gray's one that I go to. You usually go to his list because he has a lot of stuff I haven't seen. Asked for something more. I kind of found it my own, and then I just got confirmation, like, hey, is this worth watching? You know, just didn't want it not to be. You never know. We might end up watching something that isn't, but
TBD.
something different that we haven't really watched genre-wise, which I feel like it kind of did hit because it had a little bit of Bocchi the Rock in terms of the kind of slice of life, but the whole this show was a vibe.
I'm excited to talk about it because it was episodic, but not episodic.
It was definitely more episodic. It didn't really have
An overarching
progression
story
of a story. Like, I guess you could argue we had the spoilers ahead for anyone that might be potentially watching or reading.
Yeah.
But the garden, there was the progress on the garden. But other than that, there wasn't too much. The more just canon events, right? Like you had the sister showing up and the one character who was a dog.
Dog girl, yeah.
Like, so things that were got established as lore within the story continued on.
By the way, this show, being slice of life, had just enough lore pieces that I wanted to know more.
Yeah, I agree. Like, you want to know about the one thing I found very, very, and like I said, this whole show is a vibe. It's a vibe in terms of if you just want to smile, feel good, and just enjoy something, this show is perfect for it. I do think that it can, especially if you're someone who watches a lot of shonen, you might find it on the tad bit boring side. But I found English. I found that a lot of the characters were very charming.
Yep.
Very easy to like. And I did laugh a good amount of times as well, or even just smile. Yeah. Just like happy. I don't know how you felt. I thought Chito, that was definitely one of the best characters. It's Black Cat.
Yep.
One of the familiars. I thought all the familiars were great.
Like, especially I was happy because I was at the beginning, I was like, oh, everyone just has a cat. And then the one friend that
hamster,
was hamster,
we had an owl.
The owl was really cool because I wasn't sure what was going to happen when they're like, "Oh, I just need to go outside for a second," and then, whoosh. Even like the simplistic spells of like how she puts like the hair in it, and like a single crow puts up, and then she puts like a witch's hair, and just a whole murder of crow show up.
Yeah,
that's good. Final episode.
The easy spell was you did like an incantation, you had and then you just waited for candles to go out.
Yeah,
that's a long time if you've ever waited for a candle to melt all the way down.
Unless you go to the dollar store and get like a 1 hour candle. But
still an hour.
Yeah, it's still an hour. Another thing too I really enjoyed, and it was on the last episode, and it was like such a random thing, but I was like, oh, this is so good, was the earthfish.
The earthfish were cool, especially after really they drank sake.
Yeah.
They changed a different color and then started floating.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? I'm here for it.
But that's what you mean by it gave just enough lore tidbits that you're like, what is going on?
Like, I think it's like episode 2 or 3 has like the summer equinox entity-esque person that just like shows up, says a few things, and then disappears. And I was like, what?
Yeah, that was the Harbinger.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Kind of looked like they belong in the Court of Owls.
It literally gave me Court of Owl vibes.
It really did, like a Talon vibe.
Interesting. Yeah.
But yeah, for sure. And like I said, the show overall is kind of a vibe, and it really fits the mood. Like, the one thing I found very interesting was, although only their family members and other witches should know if someone's a witch, everyone's very chill. Like, they don't even question anything. Like, yep. Yeah, that's normal.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
Like, even the younger cousin who didn't know she was a witch, when she first starts flying on her broom, she's just like, oh, wow.
Wow, this is so cool.
Yeah, she just sees and she doesn't like overreact. She's like, oh. And then she flies with her and then she's like, oh my God, I flew. But you're like, is this all right.
Sure. Something I really enjoyed too, which I was in the first couple episodes, I was like, wow, like the animation for food is pretty good.
Always
and
is.
I was so happy when they had a cooking-based episode.
Yeah.
I was like, yes, showcase the animation of the food.
You always gotta. That's one thing you can notice when you don't need to focus on crazy action scenes. You pump it into something else,
and it's usually the food.
Food is up there. I thought the show overall for animation was fantastic. It was very clean. Our style was beautiful.
All the characters
consistent, very very consistent throughout the entire show. There was no moment where you're like, "Eey."
No characters looked too much the same. Like every character had its individual design. Which
to be fair, there weren't many.
Yeah,
thankfully.
But still, I've seen it sometimes. I feel like where you only have like a set full of characters and at least two of them.
But they were easy to differentiate for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
No one looked exactly the same.
Exactly.
Did you have a favorite episode?
Honestly, probably the Harbinger episode. Like, I thought that character was so cool and so neat.
Yeah, and I thought the little girl was pretty funny where she like closes the door and then he's just creeping around the whole house. Yeah.
I think
no one's here. Call the police.
I think that gave it a good tone for the show where it's like, oh, we're in a mundane world with random fantasy elements.
Yeah.
But it's not going to pull you in either direction.
I enjoyed when she was, I think it's episode 1 or 2, where she's just, the main character, Makoto, is just talking with her cat behind the door. And her cousin is just like...
Then she runs to the kitchen. Yeah, that's episode 1.
She's like, that's sus. Yeah. Something's sus going on in there. But yeah, I thought the familiars were definitely my favorite. I just love how... And like you said, it would have been so much cooler to get a lot more lore about how the familiars work, the aging, because obviously we got that Cheeto's 17.
Mm-hmm. What was the name of the other cat? The archaeologist?
Yes, the archaeologist cat was Kenny.
That's what it was. Yeah,
and I
thought that was. Sorry, go ahead.
I just love the reaction of like they talk and they understand everything and they're just like meow, meow. Like when they're doing the archaeology scene,
episode,
and they're talking about it, and then the one
friend they meet on the whale.
Yeah, and the one little witch girl starts popping off about the history of pancakes and hotcakes, and then the cat like corrects her. Yeah. And she's like, oh, yeah, you're right. It was during this era.
It was this and that and everything, yeah.
Very cute show.
Really cute show. Not really a bad episode. Like, I can't be like, oh, this episode was a lot worse than the others. Like,
no, they're all pretty good. That's what I mean. Like, both in terms of animation and art style, obviously consistent throughout 12. It was shorter, but still.
Still 12 episodes, but...
each episode had enough of its own story to keep you interested in what was happening, like the cafe. Then I thought that was really cool, especially the whole hiding in kind of plain sight aspect of the cafe in general is like this broken down house, and then you do the proper double bow into a what was it? It was like a ritual for praying at a shrine, the proper traditional way.
I also enjoyed too was I lost my train of thought. Was the reverse lichen basically, where like she was a dog-like person in the daytime, but as soon as it was nighttime, she was back to being human. I thought that was a cool little just like.
It was a fun episode because she's a fortune teller.
Yeah.
But the whole reason she was like staked out where she was purposely to find one person, which was the main character's sister. But then she finds the sister and was like, "Where do you live?
Where are you? Where's your sister?
Where do you live? What's your address? What's your phone number?"
And then it turns like, and then I guess that would be the only multi-episodic storyline. In a way.
The episode where we get introduced to her is the only one where they actually try to fix her.
Well, no, but like later on, I don't think it's in the same episode.
She comes back.
She comes back, and then you find out that she was the one that ate the chocolate because she blamed it on the sister originally, and then I think a couple episodes later.
It's during the same episode.
Is it all in the same episode? Where she got drunk and ate it?
Yeah, because she's like, "So do you know when your sister's coming?" And then her sister just floats down. And then it was also interesting that her sister's a very known witch.
Yeah.
And you're like, why?
Why?
Show us. But she never really does.
A lot more.
You just see a lot of her drinking and sleeping.
Yeah. Unfortunately, this is the only season of the show. It is a manga. I think the manga itself had 20 volumes.
Yeah, it was animated by JC Staff, labeled as a slice of life supernatural. I feel like that's pretty fitting. Its demographic is shonen, surprisingly. But yeah, it was just very cute, wholesome. You know, if you just want a show that literally just only happy things are going on and you want to smile,
exactly,
then it's definitely the show, because I can't say anything super negative that I was like, just maybe I could see it being slower paced for some people, and maybe not. It's not high action. It's just you're just chilling. You're vibing.
It is still going on, actually. I thought it was finished, but apparently it's still going.
The manga?
Yeah. Manga started back in 2012, so it's been going on for 12 years. Looks like it's one volume a year.
Yeah, this anime aired in spring 2016.
2016, yeah.
So 8 years old.
There is a dub of it. We watched the sub.
Yes, we did watch the sub, which was good. Very solid.
Yeah.
I thought all the voice actors fit kind of how I expected the characters to be.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
It has a 7.5 on Mal, 108,000 users. So that could be either on their plan to watch or completed or in some form of their list. I feel like that's a pretty accurate rating. I don't know if I would give it an 8, but it'd be pretty close. But I feel like a 7's too harsh.
Yeah, I was on the fence of what to give it.
The problem is, and I'm sure you can relate to this, is I don't have many, when I'm rating shows, I like to kind of compare them.
Yeah.
Not that that's necessarily the best way to look at it, because everything's different in their own way. But when I'm comparing a shonen, like an action battle shonen, I'm more likely to compare it to the other battle shonen I've seen and be like, is it as good as this? Is it worse than this? And then I kind of, things work their way up and down via that way, where I'm like, okay, the animation was nowhere near as good as this, but the story was maybe better than this. And I kind of work my way that way, comparing it to familiar shows. I don't have very many shows to compare it to that are, I have a few slice of life shows, but even those aren't to the same vibe. One that comes to mind is A Place Further Than the Universe, but even that is a complete story of the young girls working towards going somewhere.
Like when we first watching this, I think I sent you a message and I was like, it feels just like a slightly more adult of Little Witch Academia.
Yeah,
like
in a way.
Like that's kind of the thing
But even Little Witch Academia has that more story because it's her first time going, and
this kind of feels like it would take place almost in the same universe almost as Little Witch Academia.
I thought the whole idea that you're considered an adult at 15 was interesting too.
Yeah, but I've read enough dystopian and different adult
for sure.
Adult books.
But for a witch being you're 15, you gotta like move out. She didn't she moved out of home. She's still It was also two presents. I think we talked about this in a recent episode but we have 2 present anime parents. Both the mom and the dad were there for her mom and dad, but
yeah,
her cousin's mom and dad at the house she is staying at were there multiple times.
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool. What'd you think of the Mandrake?
Oh, I guess that's something that kind of, but that only really popped up at the end. Like it was in the beginning where she like yanked
and then it popped back out at the end.
Yeah, I thought that was very.
The middle.
Yeah, I thought it was very funny. It gave me like obviously I think back to that scene in Harry Potter specifically, of the grab it and pull it, and then it's like I think Neville passes out.
Yep.
But
and it's just there, the animation with the swiggly eyes, and it was a big boy.
He was a chunky boy, that's for sure.
And then they go back and they show. She's like, "Oh, I planted the Mandrake." And it's in their like little garden in the back.
Or like
yeah, the one character's like, she's like, "Do you want it? I can pull it out." And she's like, "No." And she still ignores her, goes to pull it, and she like grabs it. She's like, "No."
It's funny because like the more we talk, the more I realize that there was like small little overarching things that kind of like the radishes, like the pickled radishes and stuff like
pickled
that.
Radishes, yep.
Oh, you know what? I did enjoy the apple picking episode.
The apple picking.
Well, not apple picking, like the apple flower thing. I thought that was very interesting.
Yeah.
Like all things across, like I did learn things while watching this show. Like I had no idea about the flowers on the apple tree and like.
Well, some of the food stuff too. I can't remember the name of the like herb or vegetable they picked up, but it was like on their walk and they found it.
Oh yeah. And like the little girl.
He's like, "Oh, these are good with sesame seeds," and I was like, "What is that?"
Yeah, I can't remember. It was like a weird. It reminded me of a Brussels sprout, but it wasn't a Brussels sprout.
And they're just wild, and you just pick them,
there's
wash
a whole
them,
field of them, and like
and tempered them.
Yeah. And it looked good.
Oh yeah,
like,
it looked real
great.
good. He like crushed up the sesame seeds, and then he dipped them in. Oh man,
so good.
Makes me hungry. But yeah, it was honestly, if you want a show just to feel good, smile, I think you can't go any further than that. It's
honestly, I'd probably recommend this to people that are wanting to get into anime if they don't want anything too heavy and like they want to get used
if they're not into like fighting
style.
and stuff.
Yeah,
they're super chill. Maybe if they're into Harry Potter, maybe just has that little bit of a vibe.
Tickles the little itch of the fantasy, but not to the extreme that it's in your face.
Yeah, and it's like not like Mashal where you're just like, we're memeing on Harry Potter, but it has, oh yeah, I recognize some stuff.
Yeah. This one's just like, you know what? This is a mundane universe with some fantasy.
There were still a few anime-esque camera angles, I guess you could say, for sure in the show.
Yeah.
But it's a good way to get used to anime.
That's what I mean. Yeah, I think this is a good introductory anime.
Where you're not like, whoa, because no one was inappropriate. It was just, what are you doing, camera guys? Yeah. A weird angle.
Whoa. Yeah.
Even though it's drawn, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a good show. Have we had a bad show though? No.
No, the
Monogatari's the weirdest, but that we knew. I feel like that was.
That's why I want to do like almost like a weird, not a tier list, but like at the end of the year.
Should we rank it? We can make our own tier list.
Yeah, of the 12 animes that we watched this year, what would be our favorite? What's our least favorite kind of thing?
I'm down.
But I'd almost want to like make them separately and then compare them instead of doing it together.
No, we're doing it together. You gotta do it together.
I know we'll do it together, but I think like using our
list.
Like
each of us?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like, what would you put in rank 12 or like where?
We can come together with a list and then make our combined list.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
Maybe you guys could join us.
Yeah, if you guys are interested, if you guys are watching everything that we've been watching, or even some of
catch up. I mean, we have you can on our Discord is where we do the monthly watch along. So you can see I've posted every anime we've done so far. So if you're behind, feel free to catch up. And then at the end of the year, we can kind of do a tier list with all the people in the Discord as well.
This would be in January, but like because obviously we have the anime of the year in December.
We could do a cutoff. You only have 2 weeks in December.
That's rough.
Not that everyone's busy.
No. What's happening in December?
Nothing's going on.
Exactly. But yeah. Honestly, solid show. The opening and the intro and outro.
Very chill opening. I liked it.
I think it fit with the film.
Yeah, that was a good one. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know the closing. I just kind of ripped through.
Pretty well the same feel too, like overall.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I did like it. I've heard that opening in like opening quizzes before.
Yeah,
for sure. Something that Matt and I and some other people do for fun every now and then. But another one to add to the the repertoire to know. But yeah, exactly. I'd say JC staff, they killed it. Did a good job.
On did you give the score of what it is on?
Yeah, it was a 7.5 on Mal. Crunchyroll is 4.7, and Crunchyroll just 5 stars.
It's out of 5, yeah.
Yeah, so
and it's also like very small number in comparison.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, honestly, 7.5 kind of fits it.
Like I said, yeah, I think 8 I could see. 7's too harsh, and in my anime list, you can't give in betweens.
Yeah.
So I would be more on the side. I haven't finished putting it in my list, but it'll probably end up being on the side of 8.
Yeah. If you did want to watch it, based on this episode, know that it's currently on Crunchyroll. I don't know if it's on any other services.
This is obviously in Canada as well.
In Canada, yeah. I can pull up on my anime list to see, because my anime list usually tells you where you can watch it, I think. I'm thinking
it says High Dive as well, but that, once again, could be based on region, of course. Mm-hmm. We don't have a sponsor to one of those places that could potentially change your location, so we're not going to mention one. But, I mean, if one of them wants to reach out and sponsor the podcast, we're totally down.
Dang.
Hey, I'm just saying. Upgrades to the studio.
Yo.
Ayo. But yeah, so end of May, which means we're going into June, the halfway mark of the year. And we finally have our first, and hopefully not last, recommendation from a Misfit.
Yes. Shout out to Christian, a weekly listener. Right now he's on a trip somewhere, so I think by the time this episode comes out, he'll be able to listen to it. But he's probably driving around his truck right now when he listens to this. But yeah, shout out to Christian. He recommended the anime for this month. I'm super pumped because I'm hoping that we can chat with Christian a little bit through the Discord and kind of see how he's feeling and stuff like that about the show.
This goes out to everyone, though. There is a Discord. We update the Discord for the monthly anime. You just have to, if you give the instructions, I can't pull up the Discord for us, but if you go to our Discord, which is linked in the description below for both if you're an audio listener or a video listener.
Yep.
Video watcher, video listener, whatever floats your boat.
Yeah.
I don't judge. And you head on over to our Discord, which will invite you. We have a bunch of roles for...
Yeah, so you click Get Roles, and you'll see things. We have, if you want to put your pronouns. And we also have different emojis that you can click on, and you can join servers inside the server. I guess it's
channels.
That's channels. Right. For anime, manga, superheroes, Star Wars, video games, D&D/RPG, sports, and other
things, that whatever works for you. Basically, you don't have to be in all of them. Choose the ones you like. And then we also have the anime of the month, which basically same thing. There's an emote if you want to be a member of the anime of the month, and it'll open up a channel which is, as you might expect, the anime of the month, where it has a channel where I'll put the link to the My Anime list, and then a channel for that specific anime to discuss as a thread.
Exactly.
And yeah, we'll love to have anyone who wants to join us talk about the anime and suggest other ones, honestly. If we haven't watched your favorite anime, or within reason, in terms of length, we don't really want to go past 24, but if it's something that's really highly ranked, we can maybe push it. We'll see
if we have enough notice.
But 24 is
the cutoff.
I think is
our
25,
26, depending on the season, of course. But
in that range is kind of our cutoff at the moment. Sometimes we did the Monogatari, we did all 3 movies just because we knew that it wouldn't be as long to do. But yeah, so without further ado, the anime we'll be watching for the month of June came out in winter 2024, so it's pretty recent.
It's fairly new,
in literally last season. Yeah. And that's Ashura.
I'm very curious. I want to go back and see if we even talked about this on the anime.
I think we did. I remember it was in my 3-episode try, I believe. It is an isekai.
Yep.
Do you have the synopsis you want to read?
I can pull it up.
Sure. We can give the brief synopsis to all you lovely people out there, so you can get an idea if you want to join us. Unless the term isekai is enough for you to be persuaded or dissuaded.
This is the plot. Little couple sentence description on Wikipedia. The Demon King is dead. However, the hosts of Shira's demi-god-like people capable of felling him remain and are effectively free to do whatever they want, with some becoming conquerors while others wander indifferent to the world around them. Thus, with the identity of the one who slew the Demon King being a mystery, these champions now spark conflicts among themselves, all to determine who is the mightiest and attain the title of true hero. Okay, I don't know. Sounds interesting to me. It does look like it's originally a light novel.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Originally a novel series that became a light novel, then it was actually a manga form.
On my Amulet says source is light novel.
Yeah.
It's by Studio Passion. Passion, which has done it's done the currently well-renowned airing show that people are loving, which is a remake of Spice and Wolf.
Okay.
It also did the most recent season of High School DxD.
It's done, yeah. Season 4 there.
It's also done Citrus, if anyone's ever watched that. And there's some other sussy shows in here, like the
Harem in the Labyrinth of Another World.
I was gonna say like Interspecies Reviewers, which had a
Yep.
Yeah. When that first aired, had its own little thing going on.
Yeah.
But
they did. Yep.
Yeah. You're just looking at you. They did. So yeah, they've animated shows.
They've animated stuff, man.
And here we are, going down into Isekai land. First one of
that's what I mean. So honestly, we're still on track to do
something different.
Exactly.
So we're jumping into the world of fantasy adventure in another world.
I mean, the animation looks fine.
Matt says the animation looks fine based on trailer.
I'm just the thumbnails.
Oh, he's basing the animation off of thumbnails. Brilliant.
As I skip
could be a
partially
slideshow
through the first episode, doesn't look like a slideshow. We're okay.
All right.
It gives me Attack on Titan vibes in the sense that it looks like there's information pages.
Oh, yeah. Okay, well, it's recent. It's an isekai, something we haven't done, like Matt said. So please join us in the June Watch. It is 12 episodes, so it's not very long. Very easy to get through.
It is dubbed, it looks like.
Dang, it's even dubbed. There you go. If you're not a sub watcher.
Dubber.
So and, that's pretty
That's exciting.
That's that, he says.
That's that. Anything you want to chat before we wrap up the episode here? We got a little bit of time left here.
What do you want to tell the viewers what you just started recently reading?
I've been reading a lot recently.
Well, I was thinking more like related.
Manga?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, JJK, Jujutsu Kaisen.
Jujutsu Kaisen.
I want to catch up before it's done because I know there's speculation that it will be done very soon. I'm only 5 volumes in, which I think is still season 1 of the anime.
I don't know.
Because season 2 begins, like the season 2 is like a Gojo arc, right?
Yes.
The beginning of season 2 is a Gojo arc?
Yeah, the first part
of
season 2.
So I've yet to get to there in the manga. Where I am in the manga right now is the fight with the other school, which I'm really enjoying because during the first couple arcs, you follow 3 main kids. Yeah. Basically, I call it the team.
With
team
a sensei.
10. Yeah,
Team 10. You're following Team 7.
Yeah, Team 7, sorry. Not Team 10. Team
you
7.
You could follow Team 10.
Same principle, you know. And then you get introduced to what I will call then Team 10, which is a panda bear, a guy who speaks with random food words, and a couple other people. And you're like, interesting. And then they kind of pop up here and there. And then it's not until this arc you actually get to understand, like, why they really... Like, why does this person only speak in food words?
Yeah, the curse.
Why is there a panda bear?
Yeah.
And And then it's interesting because you see other styles. Like you see Mecha something. I can't remember his name. But his fight against the panda, I thought was really cool. Like good mythos and like lore build where I'm like, oh, this world is a lot more interesting than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, the power system.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite character so far then in the series? Very early on, obviously.
Very early on. Honestly, the supporting characters so far, like the panda and the fish and like I call it the fish guy. That's not right. Sorry.
The sushi talker.
The sushi talker. Yeah. Sushi talker and the panda because I find them to be the most interesting characters so far.
Really? That's
outside of like, because I know Gojo is broken. So I think like fair. When I saw that.
How do you know though?
Because I mean, he fought I can't remember the guy, but the volcano head dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mount Fiji guy.
No.
Well, that's what the main character says. He's like, you have like he uses Mount Fiji or Mount Kilimanjaro, like a volcano mountain.
He uses a specific mountain.
He does. Yes, I do recall that. So on that regard, you see how broken Gojo kind of is. I think the domain expansion kind of situation is very cool. Because you see that again when there's like the one single mission with the main character and the investigator dude. Like
the investigator
I don't know if he's not an investigator, sorry. I can't remember they fight the one dude and then he gets sucked into his domain and he pushes the main character out.
Oh, I think you're talking about the Nanami and his fight with at least I think that's what you're talking about. I think you're talking about the Nanami.
He like left he never finished Jujutsu High kind of situation. He left.
Yeah, like he is a Jujutsu sorcerer. You're talking about the guy that has kind of like the axe that's covered or the cleaver that's wrapped.
Yes, him. Yes.
Yeah, that's Nanami.
Yes.
So he is a Jujutsu sorcerer. He left originally because he didn't like the world of Jujutsu. Yeah. And he kind of came back because he's like, I have these abilities and I should use them for good.
He's a very interesting character too.
He's a fantastic character.
Yeah, I'm excited to see a little bit more of him. Even the villains too, like understanding, because to me, I don't know if this is accurate or not, we've seen who the big bad of the series is in quotations. So I'm excited to see how that character, because he's like the human-esque character. Like I don't want to spoil
You're talking about the
anything.
cursed spirits, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. So I really enjoy the world. I'll probably end up reading more. So I'm hoping to read more.
Yeah, I'm assuming you're talking about Mahito is
yeah,
the one that can like alter his body or alter
the
other
soul
people.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. The soul fruit.
The soul fruit. Yeah, that's fair.
I'm excited for that. That's what I'm reading in manga right now. I read 5 volumes last week. So
obviously still caught up with
still caught up in One Piece, still caught up in My Hero.
Yeah, I'll be catching up on My Hero for hopefully next episode and we can talk about it.
I fell off Chainsaw Man.
You fell off.
I am 12 chapters behind. Kaiju number 8, I think I'm 4 chapters behind.
Did Chainsaw Man fall off or did you just fall off? Or both?
Probably a little bit of both, because after part 1, which is where a big portion of readers stopped reading, Heyo, and half the
and
listeners
Gray.
here.
Heyo.
And a lot of our friends, actually.
Heyo.
Heyo. I continued to read. It was
not that it's bad.
It's not bad. It's just not the same story. I think that's the easiest way to put it.
I think when I finished part 1, I was kind of confused how there was a part 2, to be honest. I'm sure he'll explain it when I read it. But my thing was, I'll just wait for it to wrap up and then I'll read it all in one go. Mm-hmm. And it's lasted a lot longer than I expected, to be honest. But I'll definitely be getting into it once probably it ends, / if it looks like it's not, then I'll just catch up. Mm-hmm. But I loved part 1.
Part 1 was great. Part 2 just has a very different feel. And I got to the point where I'm like, I don't understand where the story's going. And these new characters, I don't really care enough to keep going.
Yeah, that's fair. That's valid. That's definitely a reason to drop when you start falling out of love with all the characters.
I put down World Trigger as well. I don't know if I'll get back into that.
I was surprised you read as much of World Trigger as you did.
I thought it was a cool concept, and then it just felt very recycled plot.
Yeah, that's fair. You'll have to try Dan to Dan, I think.
Dan to Dan is now on it, but web only. Oh,
okay. Like on the Viz or the Jumps?
Shonen.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll have to give it a try. It's pretty wacky in its own right. Not to the same extent as Chainsaw Man in terms of that one. I think that's part of Chainsaw Man's initial appeal was just like how crazy it felt in comparison to a lot of other, especially Jump titles at the time.
Yeah. It was borderline not a Jump title.
Yeah. But I think you should try it out, especially since we know it's coming out fall this year, I think.
I think so.
So I think that one will do very well. And I expect, this is my prediction, but I expect it to kind of have that JJK, Blue Lock, Demon Slayer level of, I think a lot of people will end up liking it who haven't been reading it, and we might see an explosion of popularity for it.
Agreed. And if you're curious of what's happening for summer anime, check back in 2 episodes.
2 episodes.
Summer anime.
3 weeks for us. 2
weeks for us.
For the Misfits, where we'll be doing our regularly
programmed.
Our regular, what has become a very
our
normal series
program, yes,
of doing the seasonal preview for the season, where we also, I guess, we'll talk about some of the shows we've been watching this season. Do you have anything in particular that you want to shout out, Matt, that you've been watching this season? Or
not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. I'm hoping to
you're gonna have
crush
some
a little
stuff
bit.
for the peeps.
I'm hoping to. I mean, Go Loser Rangers out. Demon Slayer just started for us.
Yes, it's only been a couple episodes in.
Yeah, because it's a smaller season. I think it's only supposed to be like 8 or 9 episodes. I think.
Yeah,
it's a very tiny.
Unsure the total number of episodes it is. My Hero's also going on.
Yep.
Kaiju number 8,
8, which unfortunately
has been
heard interesting things, not great things, but not terrible things.
It's been decent. I think some people maybe had really high expectations. It hasn't been bad. It's just been decent.
Yeah.
The opening and closing caught me by surprise because they're both.
Oh, One Republic, dude! It's a great song.
Yeah, it's
a banger.
It's a bop. And surprising, to say the least, as well. I can honestly say when I watched the first episode, I think I did a double take where I was like, because I think Youngblood does the opening and then One Republic is the ending.
That sounds right.
And I was like, is this both English songs? Which I was a little surprised at. Sometimes it feels like it might be one or the other.
Well, this also isn't the first time One Republic has done anime.
Yeah, they definitely.
Either, right?
If you were to pick an English band, they're high up there. The Bartender show has been decent.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Hasn't been. I won't say it's been like unreal or anything like life changing, but it's been decent, solid. For anyone that's interested. We also have Spice and Wolf, which has looked great and felt great, and also very much a vibe show.
Yep.
But yeah, well, Windbreaker's also been really fun for the fight scenes. Interesting world as well. But we'll definitely, and when we do that next season's preview, we can go deeper into the shows we liked or recommend.
Yeah,
or
definitely.
maybe some of the shows that maybe we should start making a list of the shows that we gave episodes and we're like, might not be worth it.
Yeah.
Of course, you guys should always make your own judgment as well. Don't let us.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like anything,
don't let us dissuade you from watching something that sounds interesting to you.
Or read anything. Like if you like Chainsaw Man, don't discourage us from.
Yeah, or let us know like why we should be. Why should I be reading part 2? Am I missing out on? Or is Matt? Has he stopped reading at like the worst time?
Yeah, exactly. Let us know.
Because at the end of the day, it's all subjective.
Yeah, agreed.
That goes for literally anything. If you enjoy something, and I don't remember if we've ever hated on Fairy Tail on here.
We kind of just don't talk about Fairy Tail.
Yeah. We're both not Fairy Tail fans.
I've
tried to watch it a few times. I just can't get into it. I know Gray's similar, and Gray's given it a real try. He's watched like 30 or 40 eps, and just,
dang.
Doesn't. Same with Gintama as well. And that just goes to show you, Gintama, extremely popular. Fairy Tail's also extremely popular. Gintama, very highly rated.
I mean, the only anime I've ever dropped won Anime of the Year, did it not? So
yeah, that's fair. So it's, you like what you like. And that's part of what this is for. Hopefully you can find someone else who shares a love of a certain show, anime, movie, whatever it is. And we would love for you guys to share that passion with us and let us know what we should be checking out and reading. Because even if we don't end up liking, we love recommendations. Matt definitely loves being recommended things he's never heard of.
Yeah, definitely.
The more bizarre, the more likely he is to read or watch it. So
yeah,
feel free to recommend stuff to him.
Exactly. But anyways, we can probably wrap this episode up if you're up for it.
Yeah, okay. So
stay tuned for 2 weeks from now is the summer anime episode. Next week is an episode I'm looking forward to. That is the X-Men 97 discussion.
Yeah, Are you
finished?
I will be finished by then, and it's been very difficult to not have anything spoiled.
Oh, yeah.
People are loving it. It is plastered over my feed.
There is finales in that show for not, like, if you were a fan of the Spider-Man show, there is stuff in this show for you.
This show, I think, is starting its own ripple effect of what we could end up seeing. A revival of a lot of 90s shows, characters,
People
are showing up.
Yeah, they're saying that, like, hey, if this can do it, we can bring back Spider-Man. They're going to call it Spider-Man 98.
And I loved me some Spider-Man.
Oh, dude. Yeah. I'm super excited to talk about the show. A, because I'm an X-Men fan. B, because it just drives the nostalgia for us.
And we haven't talked about something super hardcore comic related in a while.
Correct. And this show has got a lot of comic book things.
Which Matt will be able to educate all of us,
and
including myself.
Exactly. Some of my favorite X-Men are in the show that pop up throughout it.
And we're working towards Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah.
So
we'll definitely be...
a little bit of hype.
Exactly.
And yellow spandex.
Yellow and red. Yellow spandex, red spandex. I'm pumped. But anyways, thanks for listening as always. You can check us out on our linktree, which has access to all of our social medias, and it'll be in the description below.
In the description below.
And join the Discord.
Anime of the month.
Anime of the month.
Watch us, join us. If you let us know if you watched The Flying Witch, and don't be scared to, if you've never watched an anime, to hop in. It's very chill. You don't have to be a critic. As you can tell, we are
no
not
critics.
We are not critics.
Exactly.
We're just two dudes talking about something we liked.
Easy peasy.
So feel free to join us. Ishura, it's on Disney Plus, at least in Canada.
And a reminder too that all of our podcasts are now also fully on YouTube, and there's videos with it. So if you want to see our live reactions when we're talking about things, feel free to give it a watch on YouTube. If you're on the go, jump on that Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeart Podcasts, whatever you're on.
I think iHeartRadio, any of the major podcast platforms.
We're there.
We're on it. So
and we're ready for you to listen.
Yeah, and we'll see you guys next week.
All right, bye.
Bye.
TNMP, the Nerdy Misfit Podcast. Don't forget to join the island by dropping a follow. Thank you. And see you next week.